And good evening. Thank you for tuning in and for checking out Atlanta News First Plus, streaming to you live here, talking about the first alert forecast. I'm Meteorologist Cutter Martin, and already we've had some storms to track across metro Atlanta, North Georgia. They've been noisy. We've had brief heavy rain, even reports of hail. Chief Meteorologist Jennifer Valdez reporting some pea-sized hail on the northwest side. We had other Atlanta News First employees in Gwinnett County reporting some hail earlier in Lawrenceville. But actually, the stormiest of the weather has yet to arrive. That'll arrive a little bit later this evening, and because of that, the National Weather Service and Storm Prediction Center have issued a severe thunderstorm watch in yellow that is in effect until 3 o'clock in the morning. So we're going to be tracking this potential for severe weather into the overnight hours across North Georgia and metro Atlanta. Right now, the greatest threat for severe weather is actually on the far northwest side, Cherokee County, Bartow County, over towards Rome, Floyd-Chattooga counties, up to LJ, Dalton, Georgia, and then on up to Chattanooga. Now, as far as what we actually have going on right now, we're going to bring up first alert radar and expand the picture here for you. We do have a couple strong storms developing at the moment. We have had some severe weather. You saw that warning expire on screen, and right now that thunderstorm cluster of storms approaching Commerce, Georgia, tracking off to the north and to the east, not currently warned. But they're going to be watching these, and at any moment they could reissue that severe thunderstorm warning, though noticing a bit of a weakening trend with these thunderstorms between Jefferson and Commerce, kind of the northern end of Clark County, Oconee County, just seeing some light rain right now, Watkinsville and the Elder community. It's a steady light rain, maybe distant rumbles of thunder, a little bit heavier rain in Athens proper, but not severe. Strongest part of this cluster of storms over the Nicholson area, but approaching Commerce, and then Maysville kind of heading up to US 441 and 85 there just to the south of Homer, southern Banks County. Northern end of Banks County, we do have a strong thunderstorm here between Rogers Mill, heading towards Hollingsworth, the Cornelia, Georgia area, US 441 and US 23. That's going to be in far northern Banks County, and tracking off to the north and to the east, also southern Habersham County. White County, pretty quiet. Helen, you had some rain and thunderstorms in your area earlier. Quiet now. Lumpkin County, just a couple of showers. Another strong storm here in Bartow County, tracking off to the north and to the east. We can put radar back in a loop here. Notice how the storm is pretty much in its history at its strongest point now. Granted, it's only been, developing for the past 25 to 35 minutes, so could continue to strengthen, but noticing a strengthening trend, and at the moment, storm is at its strongest that it has been this entire stretch, tracking off to the kind of just south of northeast, so kind of an east-northeast direction, the Fairmont community 813 if it remains on its current heading, though noticing that this storm is trying to pick up pace a little bit. Jerusalem 826, Jasper, Georgia 846. And remember, we still have quite a bit of shower and thunderstorm activity off to our north and off to our northwest. I'm going to expand the view here because, yes, we have isolated strong to severe thunderstorms locally in North Georgia, but we're going to be watching this line of showers and thunderstorms developing across Tennessee. They've had multiple tornadoes reported in East Tennessee, parts of Kentucky. There's been severe weather reported, and this line of showers and thunderstorms is going to be moving to the south and the east. So whatever develops here, whatever comes out of this developing squall line, that's what we're going to get a little bit later this evening and overnight tonight. This line of showers and thunderstorms is basically strong to severe, widespread severe weather now. It will remain strong to severe for the next few hours, and then it probably will begin a weakening trend as it moves into North Georgia. Now, that's not to say that the risk goes away altogether, but the risk will be a little bit lower for severe weather as it tracks into North Georgia. Nonetheless, obviously, we have a level 2, level 3 risk of severe weather across parts of the Atlanta News First viewing area, depending on exactly where you are. We'll break that down for you right now. Notice northwest side into North Alabama, that's where there's a level 3 out of 5 risk of severe weather. And this is, it says until 8 a.m. Monday. That's the outlook time here. But in reality, this is really until about, midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. And then they'll probably start to pare down this risk. Closer into the city of Atlanta proper, slight risk of severe weather, far east Georgia, and the marginal 1 out of 5 risk. So at its strongest, northwest side. And then even the Storm Prediction Center kind of with this forecast acknowledging that risk of severe weather does decline a little bit as we go deeper into the overnight hours and the further south and east this line gets. Still worthy of your attention. Need to have those alerts turned on just in case, at least one way to get those alerts. But in general, the greatest risk is across northwest Georgia and east Tennessee, North Alabama included as well. Let's walk you through a forecast model. It's doing a decent job, though it's a little bit too dry with this forecast here. Showers and thunderstorms are a little bit more numerous than what this model is indicating, but it has the location fairly correct. And notice by 9, 10, 11, we see some more showers and storms developing. The risk of severe weather through, about maybe 9, 10, 11. Probably greatest northeast metro on up into the mountains of northeast Georgia, Hall County, Forsyth County, Banks County, Rabun County, White County, Fannin County, Blue Ridge area, and points east from Blue Ridge. That's going to be the hot spot for isolated severe storms, and then on up the 85 corridor into the upstate of South Carolina. However, a more widespread round of rain and thunder builds in late tonight, closer to midnight, maybe 1, 2 a.m. That's basically what is left of the line of storms that is moving through Tennessee right now. And that risk of severe weather will be there with this, though more of a wind threat, less of a tornado threat. Could be some hail up to about the size of quarters. And remember, regardless of whether a storm is severe or not, it's going to be capable of frequent lightning, and it could be kind of a noisy last little bit of the evening into the wee hours of our Monday morning. Let's see. Actually, we have some questions coming in. Apologize if you had to wait for me to check in. We're streaming across many platforms right now, including YouTube Live, Atlanta News First, the account to like and to follow. If you have any other questions, comments, concerns, B, saying here in Illinois, we'll take your storms. We had very little rain in a month. Crops needed. Absolutely true, B. And actually, the pattern is going to start to flip a little bit, and that chance of showers and thunderstorms, rounds of rain will be increasing up your way in Illinois, other portions of the Midwest. Fingers crossed over the next couple of weeks. Back home, Austin Vance. Hey, Cutter Martin, I just got one question. Do you think I would be all right if I'm not under a severe thunderstorm watch? Austin, good question. Hopefully you're still on the feed. We'll expand, bring back that watch here again in yellow shaded, our northwest Georgia counties until 3 a.m. So from Cleburne County, Alabama, on up through kind of the Banks County area, actually White County is kind of the southeastern edge there, on up into Fannin County, LJ area. That portion of the watch in effect until 3 a.m. However, they in all likelihood will issue additional watches. So in the moment, the snapshot, the city of Atlanta not included in a watch. But as we get a little bit later into the evening and those storms draw a little bit closer to the city of Atlanta, the immediate metro, that watch could be expanded to the south and east, or they could issue a whole watch altogether. And that's why it's almost more important to look at the risk in general. And you see everyone, Austin Vance has that risk of severe weather, though greatest northwest Georgia, where the current watch is in effect. But I do think in all likelihood we will see additional watches issued and expanded to the south and east, including more and more of North Georgia as we go deeper into the evening. Carter, is it going to affect Cobb County? Yes. Showers and thunderstorms moving through. You kind of missed the activity this evening. That was more to your south and east. Fulton County, Douglas County, the DeKalb County area, Gwinnett County, Cobb County not seeing quite as much of the rain. Maybe heard that thunder in Smyrna. The storm was in Buckhead earlier. But you are still at risk for severe weather, and that will move in a little bit later this evening. In fact, Carter, let's bring the hour-by-hour forecast back up for you one more time. And notice how showers and storms are to your north and east. This is what a computer thinks radar will look like, but by 10 p.m., getting a little bit more active in Cobb County. I think especially as we get closer to midnight and then the wee hours of our Monday morning, Cobb County gets in on the action, as well as Paulding County, the Floyd County area, Chattooga County, Cleburne, Randolph counties, areas that were quieter during the afternoon. Your chance of showers and thunderstorms will increase as we go a little bit deeper into the evening. So again, just have a way to stay alerted. In fact, we are live in many places. We will continue to update you in many across many platforms. Atlanta News First is one of the places that we have information right now. You see that on the homepage. Atlanta News First app, the First Alert weather app, all great tools to have. And of course, if severe weather moves in, if a tornado warning is issued, we will break in. And we do have our normal news times this evening, 9 and 10 o'clock hours. Atlanta News First on Peachtree TV. We're back around 11 p.m., depending on golf. Could go on a little bit late this evening, but we will be back on WANF a little bit later this evening. In the meantime, though, not too bad outside. Lots of sunshine for the city of Atlanta. Enjoy dinner in town. Storms on the northeast side, moving north and east, but don't let the calm weather fool you. It is going to be ramping back up as we get a little bit deeper into the evening. And with that, we're going to go ahead and shift gears, talk a little bit of news. We have a fan, Karli.
Oh, do we?
Very kind comment. You guys are the best. Thanks for the info. You are very welcome. And speaking of the best, going to hand it on over to Karli and checking out news headlines. A little bit of a busy day, and unfortunately a story, someone enjoying summer activities with not a good result there.
Right, you know, Cutter, these are just never the stories that we like to deliver, especially like you said, as we're wanting people to get outside and enjoy the beautiful weather. All right, we're going to transfer over here. Bear with me 1 second, guys. All right, taking you back out here live. My name is Karli Barnett here at the First Alert Desk. I'm going to pull up some of these new graphics for you so that we can tell you about what we have going on for your weekend. As Cutter was mentioning, we do have a bit of breaking news here to the newsroom, and that is an apparent drowning that happened at Lake Allatoona yesterday. At this point, it has not been determined the cause of death, but authorities say it does appear to be a drowning. This was a 45-year-old man that the Georgia Department of Natural Resources Law Enforcement Division has identified as DeHaven Prillerman. Now, they say he fell from the back of a pontoon boat parked at the courtesy dock. He was with 8 other friends. They say that he may have dropped his sunglasses into the water, jumped into the water to get them, and unfortunately did not resurface. I want to pull up our website for you here. As Cutter was mentioning, we have all these details for you on AtlantaNewsFirst.com. Pulling that up for you here. Scrolling down a bit to get to our top stories. Making sure I can find it for you here, right at the top. So we have the full story for you on AtlantaNewsFirst.com. But again, just very sad news to have to report here. An apparent drowning investigation is now underway after the body of a 45-year-old man, now identified as DeHaven Prillerman, was recovered in Lake Allatoona. This is in Cherokee County. Prillerman was with 8 other friends on a pontoon boat when this occurred. That's what witnesses say. They say he perhaps dropped his sunglasses into the water, and it was possible that he jumped in to retrieve them. The witnesses added that they did not observe Prillerman enter the water, but they only heard a splash. Again, this is according to the Georgia Department of Natural Resources. His body was recovered from the lake. An official cause of death has not been released, but this does appear to be consistent with a drowning. We want to take you back out here to some more news. Make sure I've got my graphics pulled up for you here. Sorry, guys, we're doing a little shuffle work, but that's because we want to tell you about everything going on in your community now. Bringing it back to the news of that drowning, as Cutter said, talking about staying safe in the summer, staying safe in the water. I want to draw your attention to this story that our reporter Joshua Skinner did. This is in Gwinnett County. It's about swim safety lessons. Even for those who can't necessarily swim, these are survival skills that you can do in the water. I'm going to play his story for you now.
A typical summer Saturday in Gwinnett County often involves the pool, but fun like this can often turn dangerous if safety and education are put on the back burner.
Who's excited? Woo.
Nobody goes to the pool to sit in a classroom.
When you're in an emergency like that, it's really about maintaining calmness.
But the classroom is where Gwinnett County children and adults learn about water safety before taking it to the water at Best Friend Park. Dr. Ty Demby with the Sigma Gamma Rho sorority has teamed with Gwinnett County to train about something other than swimming.
While you won't leave here today knowing how to swim per se, you know how to be safe in the water.
That line of thinking has come to the fore after a 16-year-old girl drowned in a Johns Creek swimming pool earlier this week. Her 9-year-old brother narrowly survived. It's a scenario that hits close to home for lifeguard Joel Ordonez.
I actually started swimming kind of late in life. I started when I was 16.
Today, he's teaching people of all ages how to throw life-saving appliances, pull people to safety, bob in the water, and conserve energy.
It's also one of those tools that is good to know and not have to use it. But when it comes to it, if you have to use it, at least you know it.
Keeping yourself safe as well as those around you.
Those are the little things that is important for learning so that we are prepared as we can be in emergency situations.
In Gwinnett County, Joshua Skinner, Atlanta News First.
So that was a news story that our reporter Joshua Skinner did. I think these reminders are always so critical to give you guys. We can't give out this information enough just about being safe in the water. Here in Georgia, it gets hot. We know it. You want to go out to the pool. You want to go out to the lake. And we want to make sure everybody does so safely. Keeping an eye on traffic this weekend. You may be out and about. We do have a traffic alert for you tomorrow. This is starting tomorrow. A bridge that goes over Georgia 400 is going to be closed for an entire year. Yes, you heard that right. This is going to be causing some delays. If you take the Pitts Road Bridge over Georgia 400, GDOT is closing the bridge tomorrow to replace it and widen the crossing. They're also adding a multi-use pathway. And our reporter Asia Wilson did a story on this. I'm going to play that for you now so that you have the full details of what you can expect heading into this new week.
With bumper-to-bumper traffic and roads piling up in every direction.
Infrastructure in Atlanta need to be repaired in general. You know, it's an old city with a lot of old infrastructure.
Starting Monday, change will come near Georgia's 400 in Sandy Springs.
The Pitts Road Bridge over Georgia 400 is going to be closed for about a year. This is part of a wider GDOT project to replace and repair a couple of bridges along the Georgia 400 corridor. This is to expand Georgia 400 to accommodate for express lanes in the future.
While the bridge is closed from Colquitt Road to Stratford, drivers will be rerouted to North Ridge Drive. The director of communications for Sandy Springs also recommending that you use the signage posted by GDOT instead of relying on your phone's navigation system, as it may not be updated in time.
Those who don't want to do the North Ridge detour, it's a bit too much in the construction zone. You can stay out of that by using Abernathy Road.
That's a little concerning for this woman who lives in that area.
There's already a lot of traffic on Roswell Road and Abernathy. So, yeah, I think it's going to increase the traffic.
We're just going to monitor it along with GDOT and with Dunwoody, and if changes need to be made to the timings of the traffic signals, we'll do that.
Officials say the project will birth a new multi-use path at the bridge, along with a wider sidewalk and other pedestrian safety improvements. But some who cross this bridge every day,
I exercise down this path, daily.
Say overall, it's a win-win.
I'm sure it's for a good cause, so I mean, we'll just have to endure, what's going on until everything gets situated.
In Sandy Springs, Asia Wilson, Atlanta News First.
So a big traffic heads up for you there. Again, that work starts tomorrow. So make sure you pack your patience. There may be some delays there as people get used to the changes and start to navigate the traffic being rerouted there. As she pointed out, make sure you pay attention to those signs and don't just go off of GPS, which may not be totally updated to all of those changes yet. Now, we do have a bit of breaking news that we just heard about here in the Atlanta News First newsroom. We are told that two people have been shot on Elizabeth Avenue in southwest Atlanta. We have reporter Yasmina Alston headed to the scene right now. We still have very few details as to what happened there, but we do know that two people have been shot on Elizabeth Avenue in southwest Atlanta. We have more information for you coming up tonight on 9 and 10 on Peachtree TV, and again at 11 on CBS. As Cutter mentioned, our 11 o'clock newscast may be slightly delayed due to programming. But I do want to do a quick wrap up. Obviously, Cutter has had you covered on weather, but I want to make sure that you have a quick recap of some of our top stories. There was an apparent drowning in Lake Allatoona. This is up in Cherokee County, of a man who has been identified as 45-year-old DeHaven Prillerman. Witnesses say he may have fallen off a pontoon boat and his body was recovered. Very sad news to have to report tonight. And there are also summer swim safety classes happening. Even those who may not know how to swim, these are swimming survival skills, learning how to float, learning how to pull people in from out of the water. Those are going on right now in Gwinnett County, and you can find more information about that on AtlantaNewsFirst.com. And starting tomorrow, you're going to see some major changes changes if you take the Pitts Road Bridge over Georgia 400. GDOT is closing that bridge starting tomorrow for a whole year, and they're going to be doing that in order to replace it and widen it and make a couple of other changes to that area. So we will have you covered both on air and online for all of these things. Be sure to join us tonight at 9 and 10 and again at 11. Thank you for joining us. Take care and have a good night.